Good afternoon. My name is Dean Davison. I am with Storm Surge LLC lead forecaster for liveweatherblogs.com. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm doing here is taking a look at. I'm doing a poster presentation for the National Weather Association, and I want to put kind of an overview of what I've been looking at for this poster presentation, some ideas, and I want you to just communicate back towards me. What do you think? Basically, what I did this almost communicating better the changes to warn the public better post the ratio 2012. How to communicate danger. That's what we have to look at because the ratio is bad. It lasts from June 29th to June 30th, 2012, with 18 hours, basically from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., with over 800 miles of track length, a lot of damage. Of course, the devastation lasted months later. Peak wind gust was 91 miles an hour, and that was in Indiana, but we had a lot of 80-mile-an-hour winds back in the Roanoke Valley where I live, and where I'm looking at. I did my survey for the biggest hail was 2.75 inches. I was also in the Indiana, Illinois area. No confirmed tornadoes, obviously. There was swirls, so there was some gust tornadoes and maybe some embedded tornadoes, but when we're looking at the ratio, we're not really looking at it's more of a large-scale system, and not looking at the minor parts of it, even though further research is being done by me in Lynchburg and Roanoke areas whether some tornadoes were embedded into it. They tallied 28 and $2.9 billion in damage, and that's just still the beginning of the damage. As you see, this is a radar imagery of the 29th, and you can see where it started and how it's bowed out, starting back here in Indiana and Illinois, going through Ohio, making some major damage there, West Virginia. It looks like it weakens, but the winds field was extremely high, and winds stayed well over 80 miles an hour as it passed through Roanoke. Another look at the imagery as it approached the area of Virginia. You see that line out in front of the main line. That was where the most damage was done. That was your gust on your ratio, and that was where the most wind came from. And believe it or not, we didn't have a whole lot of precipitation with the ratio. We actually the returns were showing more the dust of what was going on. In the state of Virginia, we were looking at lots of power outages. As you see, 60, 80%, 80 to 100%, depending on where you were at, um, of the area without power. We're talking about whole counties like Craig County, places like that, 100% without power. Partial Rockport is 100% without power. Roanoke was 40 to 60% of all Roanokes without power. Lynchburg was in the 60 to 80% tile, but it was massive, and it was millions of people without power. And the biggest problem also was that the next day the next few days we were in the hundreds. We were in a heat wave, so it made it extremely bad. And what we have to do to better ourselves for these ratios, I'm going to show you the warnings. Okay, they issued warnings. Some tornado warnings, but we have some warnings straight through the whole state of Virginia. So you ask yourself, who listened to those warnings? I keep hearing, and I kept hearing right after it from a lot of people, whether it be in the grocery store or just people I talked to. There was no warning. As a weather advocate and a forecaster, this bothered me because we know there was a warning, and it was saying destructive winds of 70 miles an hour. So I decided, why not survey people? Who's listening to these warnings? Can we make increases in better judgment? Can we put increasingly worse words in our warning system, like they're doing in the Midwest for your tornado warnings? Tornado emergency. This will demolish your house. You get. This will flatten areas. You will be without power. Blah blah. We want to know. I want to know who was listening to these after that, and I surveyed 500 people. Question one was, did you listen to the warning? And number two on that part one question was, did you take it serious? So the data on question number one was 348 of 500 people got the warning. So roughly little less than 150 people didn't get the warning. What were they doing? There was there was a lot of things going on there that day. We had something downtown in Roanoke for the car show. People might not got the warning when they were out there. 324 of the 500 people didn't take it as serious. Took it as a normal severe thunderstorm warning and did little. So basically, 324 of 348 people, majority, didn't take it any more serious than a normal severe thunderstorm warning. And what they do, and I asked them, I got a lot of responses back. Oh, when it's severe thunderstorm warning, all we do is, we might stay outside, watch the storm for a little while, and go inside and just watch it out the window. Some things you're not supposed to be doing. So that bothered me a little bit. And so question 2 was, that bothered me, like I said, with that. So the question would people pay attention if you had words like you could be killed if outdoors, no electricity for over 5 days, damage to trees and homes likely, particularly dangerous situation, put in the warning. That's used for watches, black and white warnings. Winds as strong as a weak tornado likely. That would get a lot of people's attention. And feedback is I got a lot of feedback was the winds as strong as a weak tornado. People got the hint that it would be bad. The answer to this was out of 324 people got the warning, 246 of them said the use of warning words would make them take better shelter. So 246 of the 324 people said that if we used some of those words in a warning for a derecho or an amped up severe thunderstorm, that would make them take shelter. So we get more people taking shelter in that situation. 180 of the 246 people, when we utilize the words may have winds of a weak tornado, would treat it as a tornado warning and get in their basement or interior room. That is sufficient. That is extremely sufficient on what we are doing. Because we need to, the National Weather Service has been revamping their language, for public perception. They've been, especially with the tornado side of things, revamping their language, making things, sound more serious. Well, we need to do it with severe thunderstorm warnings. Obviously, in Virginia, Roanoke area, people that I surveyed, hey, the words, these winds may be as strong as a weak tornado, made them take it as it was a tornado warning. And that, to me, is a big help. And bringing it to these events of the AMS and National Weather Association will help get the word out. Help the forecasters say, hey, there is an issue. We can do something about this, and we can, do what the Weather Service and the Weather Service promotes, which is saving lives and property. And even being in the private sector, we want to get the word out. That's the most important thing out. So how do we get the word out? Obviously, social media. Facebook and Twitter have blown up. No matter what way you look at it, people are getting warnings through that really well, and the weather services have picked up on it. And I'm happy to see that because Twitter and Facebook there's others, they're the main, have picked up on this, sending warnings out that way. A lot of us have smartphones now. That's the way of the future. So we need to really look at it and go straight from there. We need to revamp our wording, and that's the main thing. I'm the author. My name is Dean D. Davison. I'm the past vice president of the Delaware Philadelphia Area Meteorological Society. I've been a member of the AMS and the National Weather Association for well over 10 years. And I'm a lead forecaster for Storm Surge LLC, liveweatherblogs.com. If you have any questions, you feel free to contact me on my email, which is wxddd83@aol.com. Thank you for listening.